Imagine, imagine that you have traveled back in time, and now you are living in year 2020, and it's the month of March. If you think for a moment, what kind of a world do you see around you? When I think about it, I see a world that is filled with uncertainty, a world that is greatly concerned with a rising coronavirus pandemic. For the folks who are living in India, then something happens. On 24th of March, a nationwide lockdown was announced in response to rising COVID-19 infections. What happened after that is a history. And I'm sure all of you here, including myself, have lots of stories to tell. The key point here is, on that date, the world changed. And as I see now, there was a world before COVID, and then there is a world after COVID. Now fast forward a little bit and come down to November 2022. About 8 months ago, on 30th of November, the world of AI and analytics said hi to ChatGPT. The ChatGPT was released in public domain. What happened after that, what euphoria it generated, and what are the staggering economic projections and everything, I think Akhilesh and Samir has already covered, and it's a public knowledge. So I'm not going to repeat that. Again, the key point here is, on that date, the world of AI, or more precisely, the world of generative AI changed. As I see, there was a world of generative AI before ChatGPT, and then there is a world of AI, generative AI, after ChatGPT. When I think a little more, the history of how individuals and nations have responded to COVID is already written. And I think the history of how enterprises have responded to the whole emerging wave of the ChatGPT and LLMs is being written right now. Now, thinking about our experiences at Michelin and reflecting on how this year has been so far, it all started with a lot of excitement and curiosity. There was a huge degree of excitement for this technology, and there was a great curiosity, which resulted in many, many, many different questions for us. For us, when I say, is an AI team. Reflecting on our quarter one, there were questions like, what is ChatGPT? What can I do with it? How does it work? Why there are so many people excited about it? And likewise, there were so many questions. So what did we do? Well, we responded. We responded by studying the technology. We responded by curating the content, sharing it in an organizational level via FAQs and videos. Even the Chief Data and AI Officer, as well as the Chief Information Security Officer of Michelin, went on to conduct a joint live Q&A sessions for the benefit of user community. Time progressed. We entered quarter two. The nature of conversation changed. The information-centric discussion in quarter one became more and more serious and action-oriented conversation in quarter two. There were questions like, how do we streamline the exploration effort? What is the best LLM for Michelin? If I have this use case, how do we build it? What is our legal positioning? What are the ethical aspects? Is it responsible? And many more, of course. Now, broadly, when I think, as we approach quarter two end, we were trying to answer one big question. How do we harness the power of LLMs in a safe, responsible, and ethical manner at the group level? Now, I'll take a pause here. The title of my presentation is Game Changer, and you might think that I'm not even talking about Game Changer, or what is so game-changing about it. Well, that's where comes the next program. Our answer to that question lies in a program called Game Changer, which is our approach to tapping into or harnessing the power of LLMs. Now, let me tell you three things about Game Changer. One, Game Changer is an umbrella program, which means all efforts related to LLM exploration and adoption, as well as all aspects of LLM exploration and adoption, are covered under Game Changer. Number two, the scope of Game Changer is global, which means it is applicable to all current explorations, as well as all future explorations or work related to LLM, across all entities of Michelin, including the acquired businesses. Number three, Game Changer has 8 subprograms, or well, the pillars as I call it, and 30 plus focus areas. Now, of course, relax. I'm not going to share all the details and bore you with all the subprograms and focus areas, but I'll just touch upon some of the key elements to give you an insight into how the program looks like, just to impart a little deeper understanding. If I look at the program governance pillar, it includes everything that a governance pillar should include. But I would like to draw your attention to one focus area related to adoption. We just don't want to build solution. We want to deploy it, we want to adopt it, we want to track the value also out of it. So the adoption of LLMs is baked into the program governance by design and right from day one. Talking about use cases, today we have 13 active use cases or explorations around LLMs today. If I look at some of the business-centric use cases, we are exploring the possibility of building chatbots or re-engineering the chatbots to deliver the next generational intelligent customer experience, all the way up to answering or automating the answering some of the frequently asked questions for which the knowledge might lie in a heterogeneous data sources. And we are exploring where we can fit LLM into it, or whether the LLMs can be helpful for it, for that matter. If I look at the technology-centric use cases, there are explorations to see whether we can build an enterprise version of ChatGPT for Michelin with Michelin data, or looking at GitHub Copilot to tap into the gains of productivity enhancements that it offers to development teams. And then there is a third category of use cases, which I might call it as a bit crazy use cases, wherein we are also trying to see if we can combine a drone with a computer vision technology with LLM, and eventually have a state wherein LLM can help us control the drones via natural language instructions. And we are just getting started. So the use case identification pillar will encapsulate all such structured efforts. Now, individual teams within the organization, doing their own research, adopting their own methodology, and adopting their own tools would result in a situation what I call it as a forest of tools, which is very unlikely because then your tool landscape gets pretty cluttered. And that is something we would absolutely want to avoid. The pillar of tool recommendation will deal with that by studying the market, as well as recommending the best fit and standard set of tools for Michelin. Now, we understand that we will not be able to go there alone. In order to achieve our program objectives, we will need meaningful partnerships on the way. And it's a point that I think Samir also touched upon at some point. And we look at partnerships, external partnerships for that matter, in 3 dimensions: around technology, tool, and knowledge. The technology partners will enable us by providing technical accelerators or APIs or foundation models that we can consume directly. The tool partners will provide us out-of-box tools built around LLM so that we can consume the power of LLM indirectly. And then the knowledge partners will provide us the know-how. They will partner with us to do a co-building and co-innovation so that we can define some of the global frameworks, or let's say the aspects of ethics, responsible security are ever evolving, and it's something where we feel the need for external partnership. And there can be technical areas as well, of course. So they will help us build those frameworks at a group level. Whatever we build, whatever we POC, whatever we demo, eventually has to go to production to deliver some value out of it. And the pillar of technology productization will deal with that. Achille strongly touched upon the area of building solid data foundations. And that is also one of the focus area for technology productization. Because we feel that an LLM or a group of LLMs, which is built on Michelin data, or for that matter, any organization's data to solve organization-specific problems, will be more valuable compared to a plain vanilla or a base foundation models that we have today. So building data foundations is also one of the important aspects of technology productization. Finally, it all has to come together. It is not a technology or a research exercise. The business should benefit from it, and that benefit should reach to each individual within the organization. And culture change will precisely do that by ensuring that the necessary change management or the adoption roadblock removal and all those aspects are taken care of. Some of the key outcomes that we are looking from the program is what you see on the right of the screen. We recognize that the technology is moving fast. It is also moving at a very, in a very unpredictable manner. We also know that as we execute the program, things can get tricky. It can get complex. And there can be, or possibly there will be, few failures on the way. However, we also think that this effort is necessary, and the end benefit can be worth the effort. The word game in Game Changer stands for generative AI for Michelin, and we truly believe that it will have the potential to change the game for Michelin. Thank you for your attention and have a great summit.